A new survey from Gallup shows that nearly half of Americans are either very or moderately worried about their bank deposits in this economic climate. The survey was conducted after the failures of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. So here with us to discuss is Emily Peck. She's a markets correspondent for Axios. Good to see you. What does this Gallup survey signal about Americans' confidence in the U.S. financial system?
Confidence is wobbly, essentially. The survey points to an American public that is, worried about the financial state of affairs we're in right now, and worried more than they should be, definitely more than they should be about their bank deposits or money they have in other financial institutions.
So most people likely have their money in FDIC protected bank accounts. So should people be concerned, or can they sleep easy at night?
People can definitely sleep easy at night. More than 99% of customer accounts at banks are, just like you said, protected by FDIC insurance. The maximum amount guaranteed is $250,000. I bet most people watching right now have less than that in their bank accounts. And the FDIC has never lost a penny of Americans' money since the insurance system got its start more than 90 years ago. And there's also concern about these uninsured deposits, the ones over the $250,000 limit. And what I can say about that is we've had 3 bank failures so far this year, which is a lot. And in those cases, the uninsured depositors also were made whole.
So according to the polling, Republicans and independents are more worried than Democrats. Why is that? Is it just like a general mistrust of the system?
Yeah, so that's something we see in a lot of different polls about economic conditions. There's this tendency, if there's a Democrat in office, Republicans think the economy is worse than Democrats do. If there's a Republican in office, then Democrats tend to think the economy is in worse shape. So it appears the same trends apply to this Gallup survey about bank deposits. And yeah, Republicans are more likely to be worried about their money right now than Democrats are.
And just for people who may be looking back through the years historically at the last time banks failed, or last time there was uncertainty in the market around banking, of course, was back in 2008 with the collapse of Lehman Brothers and others, banks that were too big to fail, investment companies that were too big to fail. How is what we're experiencing now, what we're seeing now, different from then, just so people understand?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Gallup only seems to do this survey in times of economic stress. So the last time they did it was 2008, when things were really melting down. And at the time, Americans were slightly less worried than they are now, which is sort of interesting. I think it was about 45% in 2008. So they were worried about their bank deposits versus 48% now. And then those worries decreased a little bit once the federal government stepped in and started doing various rescue funding in the 2008 crisis, and things kind of calmed down. So Gallup suggests that these are high levels of distress and they're not exactly normal. So I would say there's a similar level of distress now than there was back in 2008. But so far, the economy overall is holding up much better and is in much better position right now than we were back then.
All right, Emily Peck, always great to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.